Many thanks for the invitation to be part of this very interesting and topical conference. In my remarks, I will focus on three key aspects concerning the financial sector in North Macedonia. First aspect is how has the banking system weathered the crisis so far? Is it fit for the post-pandemic environment? And in this context, which are the main challenges that it might face and related to these priorities? So first of all, overall, let me say that our banking system has weathered the crisis relatively well. This is due to two main factors. First, pre-pandemic solid initial condition of the banking system. And second, extraordinary policy support which was provided amidst huge shock that hit our economy. Already Minister of Finance and Minister of Economy discussed. We suffered huge losses, 4.5%, though if we compare in region, it is slightly below the decline in the Western Balkan region of close to 6%. So practically, when the crisis hit, it found our banking system amidst relatively good buffers. And if we compare to the global financial crisis, significantly, I would say, better buffers. Why? We have been witnessing in the last decade before the pandemic significant regulatory overhaul taking place globally, but also in our country, a lot of efforts to improve the regulatory environment, which has led to stronger balance sheets, which can be clearly seen from the NPLs, for example, which before the pandemics were about 4.5%, down from the peak that we had in 2014 of about 12%. Also higher provisions for the NPLs, as well as, let's say, more stable sources of finance. Although our banking system traditionally has relied to the deposits as a main source of finance to credit activity, which tend to be considered as a more stable source and less relying on external sources. And to add also capital and liquidity position, which was better than during the global financial crisis. So overall, it points that generally, our banking system has been prepared and has had capacity to deal with the pandemics. The second important aspect that I mentioned is practically the policy measures that we undertook that were conducive to practically they prevented credit crunch or increase in the borrowing cost, which is completely different if we compare to the global financial crisis, where the first reaction was pick up in the borrowing cost and also significant credit crunch. This didn't happen this time. The reason are the factors that I mentioned. Initial shape of the banking system and policy measures, monetary policy, as well as also the fiscal policy measures, which means that the monetary policy was not the only game in the town, it was combined with the fiscal policy. So practically we can conclude that, and let me not forget to mention that because of these measures and these credit support, all of these factors contributed and helped companies and households to stay afloat, which was very important. In the absence of such support, practically we may face with a vicious circle. Problems in the real economy translating into the financial system and then opening up the vicious circle of lower credit support, financial stability risk, and even stronger negative effect on the real economy. So overall, so far, I can say that our banking system has been part of the solution and not part of the problem. But looking forward, what is very important is that it continues to play its role of supporting the further growth. It is very important, especially in the current context where we are aware that there are limits to the policy support. In the context of gradual phasing out of the policy support, it's very important that the banking system continues to help the corporate sector, because according to the statistics, corporate sector has been hit adversely by the pandemics. Profitability has declined 20% because of the bigger decline or bigger adjustment of revenues than on the expenditure side. According to a recent survey, about half of the companies have reported decline of revenues about 50%, and about 30% of companies decline in the range from 20 to 50%. This decline in revenues obviously resulted in shortages in liquidity. And how they were financed? They were financed to a great extent by the banking loans. De facto, 40% of the surveyed companies pointed to the banking sources as a key source to manage these liquidity shortages. This generally points the important role of the banking system in our economy. We are economy, as all other economies in the region, where we don't have developed capital markets. Our financial system is dominated by the banking system, about 80%, and we are in the environment where still, because of the uncertainty of the pandemic curve, the revenue prospects of the corporate sector are still uncertain. So continuing with this support is very important. In this context, which is key priority, I see my time is up, just 2 sentences. Key priority is building further resilience in the banking system. One of the lessons from pandemic is clearly that resilience of the banking system is a key input, not just for supporting the recovery of the economy, but also supporting the structural transformation of our economy. And another challenge in this context, in the context of pandemics, which I would like to mention, is that pandemics has changed also how we consume financial services. We are seeing significant increase of digitalization in the banking system. Just to mention a couple of indicators, for example, according to the latest data, e-banking has been increasing 35%, mobile banking 55%. So it's clear that there is a tendency towards higher digitalization, but this hand in hand requires a lot of emphasis on the cyber security, which according to Bank for International Settlement, for example, is one of the key priorities of focus in the forthcoming period in the banking system. Thank you. I will stop here.